Again. All right, looks pretty good to me. Previewing to live the webinar, live stream the webinar. Just want to welcome everybody here. I see people from all over the place here. Thank you very much for joining us right here on a Labor Day weekend. I know you're probably out there. All right, let's get this started. Probably last barbecue of the year, right? Not, but anyway, yeah, summer's almost over. Hard to believe. This is the last big weekend. Yeah, the last hurrah, right? Okay, now let's get the recording started. Here we go. All right.
Recording in progress.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Week in Review. My name is Hugh, and there's Hugh and Lucy. It's me and my beautiful dog. I love her so much, miss her so much too. Today is Sunday, August the 31st. Tomorrow's Labor Day. Everything is closed tomorrow except us. We are here. Well, we're here now, but we won't be here tomorrow. All right, questions box open for your questions and comments, folks. You'll find a little icon on your Zoom dashboard. Click on that. I am the only one that sees that, so go ahead and say whatever you want and certainly try and answer all your questions here tonight. I'll just leave this disclaimer up here for a few seconds, let you go over that so that you know the rules here, okay? Okay. You're alone responsible for all your own trading, folks, and past performance does not guarantee future results. I think you know that. All right, let's take a look and see. All right, there I is, and I hope the lighting's okay. I suppose you can still see me. I get the sunset in the background there, and well, I really like to watch that sunset. I'm kind of taking time away from my sunset to be with you, but that's okay. All right, and if it gets really bad, then I'll close the blinds. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, let me know in the questions box where you're all from, folks. I just kind of curious to see where everybody is chiming in from here tonight. And we've got Reggie from Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Reggie. Yeah, punch up the questions about it. This way we know the system works. That's how we test it. We give you a little test. So punch up where you are from and let me know. You'll find a little questions box icon. We don't use the chat box, we use the questions box. You'll find the Q&A box. All right, just punch it up. And again, all right. Bobby from Stuart, Florida, welcome. All right, Maryland. All right, they're all chiming in now. Santa Barbara, California. Okay. New York, Connecticut, Toronto, Long Island, Rhode Island. Okay, there's somebody from Chicago, another one from Illinois, Burlington, Connecticut. All right, South Carolina, Santa Clara, Colorado. All right. Okay. There's another one from Montreal. All right, they're all chiming in, folks. All right. Good to see y'all. All right, to be discussed here tonight. Last week, we'll take a look at last week's in review. The upcoming week, give you a 2-minute tutorial. Your next steps to success, have a little Q&A, and I have a special announcement, and it helps if I actually spell this correctly. Announcement. How's this? Let's try this again. All right, special announcement. And the contest at the end. No, you don't have to actually know anything. It's a chance contest. Anybody can win this one, right? All right. Irving from Cincinnati, Ohio. Ken from Twinsburg. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's see what happened here last week. All right, last week here. First of all, I want to tell you who I am. Why you should listen to me. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. I don't know anything at all. I've just been doing it long enough. And after doing it for a while, you kind of get good at it. So they say. I think you do, actually. I think you do, because I'm a lot better at it now than I used to be many years ago. That's for sure. You learn a lot over the years, folks, mostly about yourself. How do you like that, eh? Mostly about yourself. You learn your tolerances. You learn your tolerances. You learn your thresholds, your guardrails. You learn what's good, what's not good. You learn to stay in your lane. You learn that when you experiment, when you try a little something new, you somehow get pushed back. I mean, tell me the truth. You guys learn that too, Those people that have been doing this for many years, they get good at it, and you learn a thing or two. And you also learn a little bit about trading as well, right? And you learn a lot from us because what you learn from here is all the lessons that I had learned from deep in the trenches training. That's where I learned most of my stuff. It wasn't the easiest. Anybody can learn how to trade. It's learning how to control your emotions and the discovering that you can be patient when you need to be because you have no choice. You have to be patient at times, and other times you have to be very disciplined and do what you don't want to do, but you have to do it anyway. As an example, let's say you're in a bad trade and, you know, mentally, intellectually, you know this is a bad trade and you know that it's not going to get better, but it's the hardest thing to do to cut losses, but you have to. Otherwise, you're going to lose it all, right? Might as well save 20 or 30% or 50% if it's not coming back. It's a hard pill to swallow, but sometimes you have to do that. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, over the years, I learned some pretty cool strategies that worked for me. And people took notice and they said, "Oh, Hugh, can you show us?" So I started showing them and been teaching people ever since. That was 2010. We're now in our 16th fun-loving year of doing this, folks, and it's never been better. We generally look for short-term breakout trades because honestly, I have no clue where the market's going to be a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I admire those people that are so adamant that the market is going to be down, whatever, or up, whatever, a year from now. They're so smart. They know these things. I kind of wonder if you go back and just, you know, check to see if they were right or not. Uh, but I'll tell you, we have a pretty good idea where it's going to go today. That we kind of we're pretty assured of. Okay, and that's what we look at. So short-term breakout trades, and especially these days with all the stuff that's going on in the markets these days. And I'm going to tell you a little bit as an example, right? It's been a long, strange summer for financial markets, right? In fact, just the last couple of weeks we've had, oh my gosh, we've had well, new political attacks on the Fed Reserve, trying to fire Fed member Lisa Cook. How's that going? Disappointing earnings from NVIDIA, if you can believe it. We also had NVIDIA, by the way, is the biggest U.S. company by market value, over $4 trillion. You have any idea? I don't think anybody has any idea what that is worth. We have worries that tariffs on low-cost imports are going to hurt businesses. All of this craziness going on, yet the S&P 500 still continues to close at record highs. Does that make any sense at all? Well, I'll tell you, you can read about it because that is going to be the subject of my next newsletter, which is coming out on Thursday. Why the markets don't make sense. Why the markets don't make sense. So you're going to want to read this, right? And that takes me to my next step here, Spy on the Market. That's our weekly newsletter, goes out every Thursday, right? Free newsletter. It's a 3-minute read, brief, light, relevant, and entertaining. All you have to do is subscribe, go to our website, daytradespy.com, and just enter your email address when the little pop-up comes up, and that'll put you onto the newsletter. Conversely, if you don't want to subscribe, you can simply go to the website and go to the top left corner where it says Spy on the Market newsletter. Click on that. You will be able to read the newsletter. I think it's posted a day or two after it comes out. So this week, the topic is going to be why the markets don't make sense. All right, so let's take a look here. Um, this is a look at last week. It had some ups and downs, right? It had some ups and downs. This is what it looks like here. All right. So on Monday, new home sales better than forecast by Rose, mostly on technical patterns, ran up to a pre-market high there, and that was a response. We advanced 0.41%. We had 7 wins on Monday, no losses. On Tuesday, SPY closed up, lifted by anticipated NVIDIA earnings near the end of the day as they came out, and at least that's what they're expecting. We had 6 wins, no losses. On Wednesday, we notched another record high, boosted by NVIDIA results and valuations of AI-related companies. All right, this was actually, even though the NVIDIA numbers were good, but they're concerned about future prospects, and the market came down a little bit. We did have 9 wins, 1 loss, and 1 holdover by the end of the day on that one here. By the way, these when I talk about these wins and losses, these are the the trades that we do during the day in the trading room. All right. And we talk about them in the trading room. They could also include the pick of the day and the signal. All right. But we generally, this is the day trade spy related trades that we're talking about. These are not necessarily personal trades outside of the day trade spy circle. Okay. Because I do a lot of trades outside of this world, the day trade spy world, as does John. But these are just the trades that we show people and we talk about stuff. On Thursday, despite Nvidia's quarterly falling report falling short of investors' expectations, SPY took another high, record high, um, and um, and confirmed that AI spending remains strong. SPY posted another record high. Hang on, so let me just write this right here. Posted another record high. Okay, all right. And we had 5 wins, 1 loss on Thursday. And then on Friday, investors parsed inflation data with losses in Dell, Nvidia, and other AI stocks, feeding into the lower pricing on SPY. Again, I am going to correct the typo on that one. Okay. Wrapped up the week. There we go with 3 wins, 1 loss on Friday as the market came down. Admittedly, on the pick, I think we misjudged that. Things were looking very much to the upside, but it was a bit of a challenge. Now, I should also tell you too, a lot of times with these picks, when we have to have a, so we have to, for corporate purposes, we have to have a close at the end of the day. But a lot of times in the trading room, we'll discuss, say, the pick and say, well, even though the pick may not be working now, we will hold on to that into next week or next day or whatever, if we see the forecast to be that way. But for the sake of reporting, we have to report it at the end of the day. So sometimes those numbers are not exactly, what we would do ourselves, but we do discuss those things. All right, here's a look at the seasonality of it. Of course, the blue line is the current SPY price. The red line is the average of the last 5 years' daily closing price. And historically, as you'll see, SPY rose about 3 points from last week and also fell about 3 points the following week. All right, that's kind of what we're looking at. So, not sure where it's going to go next week, but we'll take a look and see what's driving the markets here. Last week, artificial intelligence, AI, remained the dominant market driver. That's the flavor of the day, folks. Lofty expectations becoming a headwind. Fed Reserve policies are shifting, growing interest in rate cuts, causing rotation in rate-sensitive sectors. And as summer winds down, investors are returning to a market that remains hot, fueled by an insatiable appetite for artificial intelligence. We're going to see what happens in the next couple of months as we test investor resolve. Now, history shows a bumpier ride in September and October. Not sure it's going to happen this year, probably, especially after coming off a hot summer. Surging sales fuel Nvidia's rising weight in the S&P 500. I believe they are something like, 8% of the S&P 500 right now. Driven by accelerating demand for AI infrastructure. You can see how Nvidia continues to push up. Look at that. Can you imagine a company that, from a capitalization standard, is valued at 8% of the top 500 stocks? And we're talking about Berkshire Hathaway, we're talking about Apple, we're talking about Google, Microsoft, Tesla. Um, we're talking about all of the top 500 companies, including the retailers, Coach, Macy's, Darden restaurants, McDonald's. We're talking about everything. And NVIDIA is such a huge, huge company. I believe if you were to compare, and I don't think it's a good comparison, but if you compare the sales or the valuation rather of NVIDIA to gross domestic product of countries, which kind of measures value versus income, so it's not really apples to apples, but if you were to measure that, I think NVIDIA would be like the fifth largest country in the world. And I think if you measure it to the value of countries, I think you're like number 23 or 24 or something. I mean, that's just unfathomable. Unfathomable. Anyway, here, the tech investment contribution of the GDP is the highest since the internet boom. Remember that in the late 90s? We'll take a look. And it's, again, all fueled by, mostly fueled by artificial intelligence. I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Anyway, you can see the numbers right there. So last week market results, S&P dropped 0.1%. Still year to date, 9.8%. If we were to extrapolate that to the end of the year, we're still looking at something like 14, 15% growth in the S&P 500. Dow Jones fell to 7.1%, and the Nasdaq is a solid 11.1% year to date, despite dropping 0.2% this last week, as did the Dow. Week ahead, markets closed tomorrow, of course, Labor Day. Enjoy the last day of summer, folks. ISM manufacturing PMI report on Tuesday. JOLTS job openings on Wednesday, and on Thursday, we've got unemployment claims, ADP non-farm employment change, and ISM services PMI. And then on Friday, average hourly earnings, Bureau of Labor Statistics non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. A lot of employment numbers coming out this week. From a volatility issue, of course, markets are closed tomorrow. Medium on Tuesday and Wednesday, high on Thursday, back down to medium on Friday. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's take a look here. By the way, whenever President Trump speaks, expect volatility to be elevated because there's no telling what he's going to say, what he's going to announce, what he's going to do, right? All right, moving along. So our 50K challenge, we started with $5,000 back on January the 6th. The idea is to turn 5,000 into $50,000 in the course of 1 year, and we are well on the way. We're looking at the top, what would be I guess the top 10%. We're up there right now. We're at 46,750. We're about 17, 1,800 less than to where I predicted we would be, but we're on track. Friday we had a good day, picked up $1,255. This is all done live in the trading room. So if you want to follow along, just jump into that. And yeah, we've had some ups and downs, no question about it. But the way this program works is we do have more than 25,000 in the account. Therefore, we can trade as much as we want. Sometimes we will trade two, maybe even three times in the day. But generally speaking, we're looking at low risk, relatively. There's always risk. Relatively low risk trades if we can. Not getting too aggressive on this, just kind of plodding along. And my intention is I think we got a good shot at hitting the 50K by the end of September. All right, September, maybe even early October. And then the question is going to be, do we take the 50K and run with it, or do we seek to move it up to 70 or 80 or even $100,000 with some aggressive trading? I don't know. We'll discuss that with the people in the trading room, see what they want to do, right? Ask a friend. So, all right, now let's get into the 2-minute tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to earn over $200 a day investing under $1,300. The reason is because there are a lot of people online. Um, well, let's put it this way. I believe there are a lot of people online who don't have like $100,000 that they're trading every day and, putting a lot of money into it. I think a lot of people are just starting out. They want to be relatively safe and, just investing a little amount of money. Mm. Excuse me while I take a sip of this drink here to wet my throat. I've been speaking all day here. My wife and I went out to believe it or not, a college volleyball game earlier today, and it was fun. It was fun. Okay, so all right. So I have people asking me, Hugh, is it really possible to make a couple $100 a day? I don't have a lot of money I'm putting into it, or is that pie in the sky? I say, no, it's actually real. And they said, well, prove it, and I did. I did, and so this was actually all right. This was okay. I was supposed to actually show this last week, but it slipped my mind to put this to put the results up for this. So I'm going to put it up today. And here's exactly what I did. These are real trades, folks. I used TD American. Sorry, I've used Schwab Thinkorswim. These are real trades, and I'll show you what I did. All right, real trade now. All right, now this was back on August the 22nd, right here, 9:39. And now I'm not going to show you the setups on the charts because that's part of the proprietary information that we give you in the trading room. But these are all live in the trading room. That's what we did in the trading room. But at 9:39, I actually bought 5 contracts on the 6:39 calls for the following week's expiration. No, sorry, I'm lying to you. This was this was, I believe, the same. Was this the same day expiration? No, August the 21st, 25th, 25th. So, sorry. No, hang on. I am lying to you. This would have been the same day expirations. These were the same day expirations. Yeah, these were same days. Now, this is high risk, but I believed in the trade because of the setup. All right, so this was a little riskier, but I believed in the trade based on the setup and the fundamentals and the technicals all came together very nicely. All right, and it was a very short kind of a trade. In fact, it was less than 1 minute, 9:39:57 to 9:40:49. I just bought five contracts for 233. Just as the market was pushing up, I sold them right away for 245. All right, I picked up 22 cents. In this particular case, I invested $1,115, little profit of $110, right? The next trade was at 9:42, just about a couple minutes later. About a minute, a little over a minute later, 9:42, same thing, five contracts in. These are the 639 calls, bought it for 257. And take a look at that. Ran up to 272 in about 2, 3 minutes. 9:44.52 right there. Again, 15 cents, invested $1,285, profit of $75. Trade number three, 9:56. Again, these are quick trades. These are scalps. These are where we see the setup and the fundamentals all played in, the technicals perfectly lined up. I had 100% confidence in these trades. All right, and these appear to be same day expirations, if I recall. All right, so they were. And I bought these guys. These were to the downside. I went with the puts this time. 639 puts. Bought them for 248. Look at that, 956. And a little over a minute later, 957.15, 1 minute, 15 seconds later, I sold them for 260 for another profit of $60. Sorry, 12 cents. Total profit on five contracts, 60 cents. Now, this excludes commission, all right? But with these trades, the net would have been 225, and the gross would have probably been a couple $100 or 210 or something after commission. All right, so that's how I grossed 225, and I was done by 10 o'clock in the morning. And now look at it this way: if you can just make $200 a day, that's about $1,000 a week, and that's about $50,000 a year. Okay, it's about $50,000 a year. Not bad, and you're done by 10 o'clock. Now, if I would have put a little more money into it, let's say I would have doubled up 10 contracts on this. Imagine making $100,000 a year, done by 10 o'clock, doing it this way when you're actually paying attention, looking at the setups, having the confidence to get into these trades, and understanding where the market's probably going to go with that much confidence that you're going to get in there and you're not going to get greedy. And immediately when you buy, you immediately put it up for sale, bang in there, and you get it for the market price. And this is how you make some pretty decent money. And this is how you can make over $200 a day by investing less than $1,300 per trade, and you're done by 10 o'clock. Very simple at that. All right, let's move on here. I'll get to your questions a little bit. Folks, here's Angelina. All right, looking for market success. She has programs that work. She's asking you to join our tribe if you have not done so yet. And here's her recommendations. Join us. Join us in the trading room, folks. Hosted by pro traders, John and myself. We've been doing this for a long time, over 45 years combined trading experience. We do this every morning, 9:20 to 10:30. We do not monopolize your whole day. We get in there. These are events. All right. People, they adjust their lives around the trading room. All right. You do certain things at certain times. You go to bed at a certain time. You wake up at a certain time. You might, you do certain things. You might go to the gym at a certain time. You might go to your card game at a certain time. Well, they get up and they come to the trading room every morning at 9:20. All right, and this is what we do. Right? So this is where our strategies come alive. We have various strategies, not a lot, just a couple different strategies. One is called the OMG, which is short for out of the morning gate. Works very well. We look at our bread and butter strategies, works very well. When the setups happen, we get in, make some money, get in, get out, and we talk about it. We narrate the whole thing. All right, this is a not a watch you and John trade show. I want to get that clear. Even though we trade, by the way, we trade sim accounts, we trade real money too, okay? All right, so we trade both. We have to show by law through the FINRA rules, we have to show our sim accounts, but we discuss our real trades, right? Before we enter them, we tell you, I'm looking at the 639 calls, I'm going to get in for whatever. All right, and you can hear the dings in the background, so we're not making it up. All right, and this is what we do, right? It's not a watch you and John trade show. It's a learn and earn experience, interactive. You'll be able to chime in through the questions box, ask questions, we answer the questions, you chime in what your earnings are, that sort of thing. It's exciting. I'm just as excited today as I ever was to get into the trading room every morning, and this is what we do. We teach what we trade what we teach, and get your questions answered. Now, we've been doing this live, continuous. I believe it's the longest running trading room that I know of, going straight since 2010. That's a long time. I don't know of any other trading room that goes on that long. But anyway, as for the pricing, you can go on our website, get all the prices. I believe it's like 6.99 for a quarter or something like that. But the best thing to do is contact customer service at DayTradeSPY and tell them, just email them, customer service at DayTradeSPY and say, I'm interested in the trading room. What's your best price? Do you have a special? Do you have a deal? And they'll probably give you a deal. All right. That's kind of the way to do it. That is the trading room, our famous, world famous trading room. We have people from around the world chiming in on the trading room. Next up, the DayTradeSPY signal. This is a particular option that is sent to your cell phone 3 to 5 times a week. This is algo based. It's morning trades, immediate buy, put up for sale for 5% profit target. If not sold by the end of the day, put up for sale at market close. Or if you understand how we trade and what our strategies are, a lot of people actually make a lot more money by holding it overnight if the situation presents itself, if they have not yet made 5%. Because these trades are based on a longer out opportunity, potential, what have you, to make the money. So even though, we say make the 5% now, that is the goal, but may not always happen that way. But usually, if you hold them overnight, usually you will make that money. All right. And it's just been working extremely well. I think we're pushing, I don't know, 89, 90% profit, on these things, both this and the pick of the day. An excellent, excellent program. And what else I want to tell you about this? Something else. Oh yeah, the reason this works well is because you're not tied to your computer. All right, so you could be out running around errands, whatever, and pretty soon taking the kids to school, whatever you do with them. You don't have to be actually at your computer. Just have your cell phone with you, and make sure your platform is loaded up, your app, and as soon as you get the signal, right away, stop whatever you're doing, get in there, make the purchase. Make the purchase, get in and put up for sale right away and get in and make some money. All right, the pick of the day is the next one I want to tell you about here. Particular option emailed to you, 9 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week. These are hand-picked trades. John and I get together and we discuss the trades, and these are to be bought at market open. And then as soon as you buy it, you put up for sale for 6% profit target. You can hold these overnight if you want. Again, just if you know how we work this. But most of the time, the pick of the day will bring its results within a few minutes. It's been working extremely well. And this too is the best to contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. Okay, and I say this with all of them. So. All right, that's the pick of the day. Very famous system. And you know what? It too has been working very well. And I never understood for the longest time. I always resisted this pick of the day. I always thought, no, you should learn how to do it. And everything. But a lot of people don't want to learn. They want us to do the heavy lifting, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Um, it's just like Oh, how can I use an analogy? I don't know. I mean, if I talk to my naturopath doctor, he's going to give me all the things I need to do and the whys and the wherefores and this and that and he's going to get into the molecular structure of the body. So listen, don't tell me. Just tell me what I should do. That's why I pay him to do the heavy lifting. Tell me what I should do to remain healthy. That's your job to get into the nitty-gritty, right? And so I've come to accept that a lot of people don't want to get into all of that back end stuff and why do you see the market going down or why do you see it going to be going up in 2 days or whatever, right? So you use the pick of the day or the signal, and they've been working very well. All right. Next up, of course, is the inner circle. Now, this is the program that started the whole thing back in 2010 when people started asking me, Hugh, can you just show me what you're doing? Because you're obviously making money. You just bought your kids two new cars, each of your kids two new car, like a car each, and they noticed it wasn't a beater. It was actually well, it was about 2 3 year old Mercedes-Benz C-Class, low end. I mean, just a starter, baby Benz they call these things. I don't know, 230s or whatever what they were called, but um, you know, I mean, I know I spoiled them. I do spoil them. I spoil kids rotten. I'm a big problem for my kids. I spoil them rotten, rotten. It's not good. It's just not good. But anyway, they wanted me to show them. They said, Hugh, you're onto something. You don't go to work anymore. You sit at home. I see you kind of wandering around the streets or whatever. You got a job or anything? You just, what are you like, a bum now or something? You win a lottery? What are the numbers? Can you pick the numbers? And no, no, no. I just laughed, but they coerced me to show. I said, okay, fine. So I started what was called the inner circle. All right, the inner circle, and that's really what it is. It's just this is so I would show people what I'm doing, okay? And every Wednesday night we have a meetup every Wednesday night, so we'll get together and a lot of interactivity there, and you can ask anything you want about chart setups, the markets themselves, whatever you want to talk about. All right, so the inner circle, you get your morning market assessment emailed to you at 9 o'clock in the morning, along with a follow-up report later in the day as to what we actually did. Wednesday night meetups, I just told you about that. These are also recorded in case you can't make it to these meetups. They are sent out right after. Okay. And I know I have a lot of people overseas or something that the time difference is just that they just can't get up at 3 in the morning. That's fair enough. Folks, this is an outstanding way to get started if you are new. It's a great way to stay in the know if you're already a seasoned trader, and it's actually a most affordable service. And again, contact customer service at daytradespy.com for pricing. All right. All right, let's get to some questions. Being Labor Day weekend, I do not want to hold you here all night. I don't want to hold you, tied down to this for even an hour. Um, I know we have some friends over, and maybe you probably do too. And I thank you all for taking a little time out to join us here tonight. And I know there's a lot of people online, and it's very exciting to see the interest that there is with this that you are actually here with us tonight. So, all right. The federal court ruling against tariffs caused the market to drop early next week. Reggie, I don't know what's going to happen. Trump is going to probably fight. Okay, so I guess the federal court said the tariffs are illegal or something. I didn't really quite get that whole thing, but I got the drift of it. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But I can tell you that Trump seems to bully his way through just about getting everything he wants. So we're gonna have to just wait and see. The markets are all about interest rates, how they affect interest rates, and and that sort of thing. Okay, so if the market feels threatened at all, then we could see move to the downside. If the market seems to be in a good mood, and I was looking at the VIX earlier, which is the fear index, CBOE volatility index or VIX. It's been pretty low. I mean, it's telling us the volatility is at a It's been down lately, and volatility is low, and it looks like even lower than rather better than expected economic growth and new inflation readings. They're not moving the needle at all. We'll see what happens. Let's just wait and see on a day-to-day basis what happens. There's also a lot of other factors that are going to affect the market that particular day. We've got the Fed Reserve that's on the brink of possibly lowering the interest rates coming up on September the 17th. That's going to be in a couple of weeks, and you know that in itself is going to move the market up, right? So we'll see what happens. Next question. Yes, Nvidia beat the earnings as far as I can tell, but the earnings on Nvidia, they beat the market, but the market did not like, I guess, what they were talking about. Um, and I didn't get the whole gist of it, but quite possibly some fears on future growth. So what happens when you have a company that large, right? It's difficult to make that much more money. I mean, just at some point, it's going to saturate. It's just going to hit the top of whatever that level is. You can only grow so much. I mean, yes, you can go to the moon, but there's only so much that, so when you're a $4 trillion company, what's 5% or 2% or 1% of that? It's a lot of money, a lot more money, a lot more money. Anyway, I think the future outlook had some bearing on that. So, all right, question from Alex. Alex A. Question about selling or call at a different strike price. If I buy a call option, strike price for 310, want to sell for 340, come back later in the day and see the strike price jumps to 648. I can't sell the call option I bought at 647, or can I? Do I have to wait the next day till it goes down to 6? Okay, so I'm trying to understand your question, Alex, here. So example, buy a call option, strike price 647. I pay 310 for it, and I want to sell it for 340. Okay. I come back later the day and see the strike price jumps to 648. Okay, so what you're asking, you're looking to buy an option for 310 and you want to sell it for 340. So the stock has to go up, or sorry, the option has to go up 30 cents. 30 cents. So what the question you should be asking is how high does the stock have to move? How much does the stock have to move to get my 340? Let me rework that. You bought it for 310, you're expecting to make 340, which is 30 cents more than you bought it for. So wherever the price of the stock is, it doesn't matter about the strike price. That's irrelevant. Wherever the stock is at that point, okay, it could be at, I don't know, it could be at 647.20 or 647.30 or whatever. What you're looking to find is how much does the stock have to move for me to get my 340, right? So I have to go up 30 cents. The easiest way to do that is to take the 30 cents that you need and divide it by the delta. Divide it by the delta. Now the delta is one of those columns on your and if you're using Thinkorswim, you'll find it on your trade tab. Okay, it's on your trade tab, which we show in the trading room. So if the delta is say zero point 0.5, that means that the option moves 50 cents at that point, 50 cents for every dollar the stock moves. In other words, if the stock moves $1, your option moves 50 cents. So what you're doing here is if you want 30 cents on your option from 310 to 340, you take the 30 cents if your delta is 50, you divide it, all right, you divide it by the delta, which would be zero point 0.5 in this example, and that would give you a number of 60. That means the stock, wherever it is at that point, the stock has to move up 60 cents. So forget about strike prices. Just know that the stock has to move up 60 cents with a delta of zero point 0.5 if you're looking to make 30 cents. Okay? That's what you have to look at. Now, if you expect the stock to go up, say, 80 cents, right? 80 cents, realistically, 80 cents, say, to the next major resistance level, and you have a option with a 50 delta, then you could expect to make 40 cents on that option. You may want not, you might want to hold out from 310 to 350, or maybe a little bit less just to make sure you get it, right? But that's kind of how that works. So, and no, you don't have to wait the next day till it goes down. No, no, no. Not really sure the rest of the question. Ignore the strike prices on that. Look and see where the stock is then, and that's how much you have to move to get your option. I hope I make some sense on that one. We'll talk about that more in the trading room this week. So, by the way, thank you for joining us in the trading room. Good to have you online. So, all right, a quick minute trades. Rod, congratulations. Took up three quick trades. Made $245 the other day. Not too bad. What do you mean by algo-based? Algo, it's an algorithm. All right, so certain key things have to line up for the signal to trigger. All right, it's not something. It's okay. So the signal differs from the pick, in that the signal when a certain things happen or line up, that's when the day trade spy signal will trigger a trade. Okay. And if I told you what those things are, I'd have to kill you, and I don't want to do that. It's proprietary. Versus the pick of the day where John and I get together in the morning pre-market and we hammer it out, right? John, it's going up. He says, it's going down. I said, it's going. Convince me it's going down. I said, I'll convince you it's going up. We punch it out, right? Punch it out. Yeah. Can you see the punches here? Yeah. Anyway, so we discuss quite at length why we make our positions, and it's usually we're together on it. It's rare that we differ on it, but when we differ, we better make some compelling arguments why you feel it's going to go this way, right? And eventually we get a consensus, and then it goes out at 9 o'clock. So, and once in a while, every now and then, we get the consensus is a no trade, and that no trade is usually because of extremely high volatility, in which case the options are going to cost a lot of money. And usually what happens when that happens at the beginning, and then the option values the volatility drops, and what happens is the value of the option drops. So we don't want you getting into a trade early on where you pay a lot of money, and then it becomes much less valuable very soon, and now you're stuck with it. So if that's the case, and we give you a no trade day that day, it's to protect yourself. That's why we do that. So, right. I got a little late in the party. What type of trades are you talking about? Okay, we only trade SPY, folks. We only trade SPY, which is the spider stock that follows the S&P 500. Okay, the actual basket of the top 500 stocks would be SPX. Very expensive options. You're paying, $1,500 a contract or $22,000 a contract or something. With SPY, you're trading more affordable options. It's the highest traded stock out there, the most liquid, very predictable patterns. It's just the greatest tradable instrument out there. So we only trade SPY. We don't care about any other stocks out there. Okay, we only trade SPY, SPY, options on SPY, all options, all the time. So there will be a replay of this presentation. It will be online. Probably Tuesday, I'm guessing, because they're not gonna be in the office tomorrow. But check in Tuesday on the website, daytradespy.com. You'll be able to find this recording on the website on Tuesday. All right. For the pick of the day, how many alerts per week? One a day. Every morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, we send out the pick, and you will get a pick. And even if it's a no trade day, you'll get an email that says no trade. Now, if you subscribe and you don't get the email, check your junk box, your promotions box, wherever your email goes. And I don't know about you, but I've been getting tons of junk, and I really hope I get to see everybody's email that's important that comes in. I've been purging my junk box every day, and I don't know where it's going to stop. And even my personal email, I just don't know where they get my email address from, but it's getting worse, not better. Maybe one day, if I ever really retire, I just might cancel everything. Cancel everything. Just get up in the morning, have a coffee, go for a drive, take it easy. Don't worry about anything. Right? All right, percentage of winning trades. I don't have the exact percentage at Eduardo, but I think we're around 89, 90% on the pick of the day, sir. So, all right, is there a telephone number you can call to find out the cost of your trading room? All right, yes, Mike. Try this number here. All right, write this number down: 570-567-0426. So the number 570-567-0426. That is the number for Eagle, and maybe you can talk to somebody there about these programs. All right. Once again, 570-567-0426. Maybe I could put punch that in here because I got a feeling that somebody's going to say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't write it down. What am I going to do? Oh no." All right, so I'm going to write it down here. This is the Eagle number. All right, 570. Actually, let me do it this way here. 570, and it's 567-0426. All right. There you go. I better make sure I check that. 570-567-0426. Yep, that sounds good to me. All right. Any other questions here? My goodness. Even though I don't want to keep you all night, time is just um, fleeting by. And you're welcome on that, Alex. You're welcome on that, Eduardo. You're welcome on that, Mike. All right. All right. Okay. So what we have here coming up here is a couple things I want to tell you about here. Next up is a special announcement. Now, I have not taken a vacation in years, and we are actually going for basically a little more than 2 weeks away. Believe it or not, we are flying out Sunday, next Sunday, the 7th of September. So I'm going to miss next Sunday, the 7th of September. We're going for 2 weeks. So I'll be gone on the 14th and the 21st. We're actually coming back on the 22nd of September, which is a Monday. So unfortunately, it incorporates 3 Sundays in there that I'm not going to be online. I don't know about you, but I can tell you I will have withdrawal symptoms. However, maybe John will do it. Okay, I'm going to be checking with John, my cohort in the trading room, John Johnson, an excellent, excellent trader. I'm going to see if he will do the Sunday night sessions. He normally does the Wednesday night sessions. And if he's up to doing Sunday night, watch for the emails going out from Eagle to invite you to the Sunday night sessions. All right. But as of now, I'm not aware he is going to do. I'm going to be checking with him tomorrow to see if he is, in fact, so I can get a commitment on it. But unfortunately, I will be on vacation for the next 3 Sundays. Now, everything else, like do not change your subscriptions, nothing like that. John is at the helm. He's going to be making sure the ship doesn't hit any icebergs. He is a complete, totally capable of this, and he's an excellent, excellent trader. The trading room, it's going to continue as always, just without me. Although from Europe, I'll be in Europe, and but I might chime in if I can. I am taking my computer with me, so I'm going to see if I can sneak away and chime in. You know what I'm saying? I will do my best because I can tell you I will have withdrawal symptoms. I love to trade and I cannot not trade. I don't, between me and you. Okay, so let me tell you this. My wife is in the other room. She can't hear me, but I'm going to tell you something. I would rather not go on a vacation and just trade, trade with you guys. That's just me. I love trading. I am addicted. I'm a self-described addict to this, and I will have the withdrawal symptoms. But my wife says, "Oh, you need a vacation," and yeah, we haven't gone anywhere, so we're taking a European cruise down. I think it's the Rhine River, going from Amsterdam to Switzerland, going to Germany, going to wherever. I don't know. She's got it all planned out. But I'm taking my computer. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, so why don't you go for lunch, and I'll catch up to you later, and I'll sneak away, and maybe I can chime in. 'Cause I think we're going to be about 5 or 6 hours difference there. So, anyway, now you know. Now you know where my heart will be. Yes, with you. Anyway, that's the special announcement. So right now, folks, I want you all to punch up a number between 1 and 100 in the trading room. All right, in the trading room. And yes, I will. I will bring back pictures. I will bring back pictures. Now, I they say that once you get to Switzerland, you may not come back. So I don't know about that, but I could see that happening. Yeah, Switzerland. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful, country out that way. And I had some friends actually in Switzerland right now, and he sends me a video every day. I get it like in the middle of the night, and he's just having a real blast. So anyway, and his name is Nick. He's a dentist, a retired dentist, and he's enjoying life to the fullest. He doesn't understand trading though. He doesn't trade. So if you're not a trader, you don't understand trading, right? You really don't. You have to be a trader to understand what we are going through as traders. Anyway, that's what that is. Folks, what I'm going to do now is, okay, so everybody's got their number in. Give me your number. Put it up in the questions box. All right, you got 10 more seconds to punch up the number in the questions box. Okay, let me just count down here. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now what I'm going to do is pull up my random number generator. This is not the number you see on the screen. This is just the generator. All right. And now I'm going to hit the button and we shall see. Okay, we shall see. All right. All right, we are closing the number of the thing. Okay, so Mark B, okay, is the last. All right, so I'm gonna hit the number right now. Oh, the number is 49. The random number is 49. So the person closest to 49 gets the ebook, Triumphs and Tragedies. Wow, that was kind of a weird thing. All right, very close. Not 46, but 49. All right, to 49, Mike K at 54, so he's within 5. Ken F is 45, he's within 4. Ken F, okay. Let me see who else we have. What is it, 49? Okay, so we're looking for somebody within okay, within of course, okay, Robert M, he's got 52. Okay, 52. Okay, let me see who else we have. Okay. Ha, you should learn yodeling. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Was it 49? 49. Oh, Mark B is also 47. What was Robert M? Okay, so we got within 2 here. Mark B has 47. And we had Robert M at 52. So he is 3 off, and it looks like Mark B, who came in last, actually, he wins the ebook, Triumphs and Tragedies. Congratulations to Mark B at 47. All right, congratulations. Quick question for you, Mark. Did you already win this ebook, Mark? Let me know in the questions box. Excuse me if you did. I'll have to give you the other ebook I have, which is Tips, Tricks, and Traps. Let me know which one you want. Okay. All right. You didn't? Okay. Never won. Okay. Congratulations. You get Triumphs and Tragedies, Mark. Thank you very much for that. All right, folks, let's get out of here now. It's been a real pleasure. We've been at it for almost an hour, and I want to just let you know that if you are going to be sticking around, you should get the subscription URL to the trading room if you want to join in on that one. And until next time, it's been a pleasure. I will see you September the 28th, I believe, unless I see you sooner. Have a good one, folks.
Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing, you can have